Hey guys, Kimmy Babes here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Sansto 511 mod, which is a dual 18650 regulated device. Let's have a vape, go down below, see what comes in the box, and then I'll give you my thoughts and opinions. Okay, and here's the Sansto 511 dual battery mod. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here it is in the packaging. If you flip the packaging over, just like the Sansto QIU, it comes in this plastic box with a cardboard insert and tons of information on the back in multiple languages. So the packaging is very simple. You get your mod and a user manual, and that is all. No charging cable, no accessories, just the mod and a user manual. So as it said on the back of the box, it is made of an ABS/PC, so that's polycarbonate, and don't ask me what ABS stands for, I always forget, but it's the same type of material that they use when they're making baseball helmets or other high impact materials. So what that means is this is a very flexible plastic as well as a very durable plastic. And this design here is going to be called the Meteor design. I also have another one that I've been using here. So these are the two color options available. To insert your batteries, you'll slide off this battery door here, and you'll see that it has coinciding magnets, one at the top, two at the bottom. And the door, of course, is that ABS plastic. I can actually, and I did this on my other one, but I can almost make those doors touch and there is no structural damage at all. Like I said, this material, although extremely lightweight and it feels cheap, it's extremely durable. It's high impact resistant, really flexible. So the popping you hear is actually the glue on those magnets. So I don't recommend taking your door and bending it, just because you can break the glue seal on that top magnet there. But just to show you guys how durable this is, I am squeezing this all the way closed and it goes right back to the shape that it was. So it holds its shape. Now looking inside the battery compartment here, you have spring-loaded pins at the top. The way that your batteries will load in is, let me go ahead and grab some batteries for you. So the batteries that I'm going to be using this is the VTC5As. So the battery orientation is marked clearly here. It's engraved on each side of the mod underneath the battery door. So the rear battery will go negative up. And what you want to do with devices like this where the top pins are spring loaded, you're going to want to go in at an angle. So in this case, we're going to do the negative side, and you're going to push up from the bottom and then pop it down. And it has this nice battery ribbon, so it makes it really easy to pop these batteries back out. So there's your first battery installed. The second one, the same way. This one's going to be positive up. Start in from the top, push that pin up, slide it in, and there you go. Then we're just going to place our battery door back on the device. So looking at the bottom of the device, you'll see we have some really big ventilation holes there. I can actually see my batteries through those ventilation holes. And then 4 screws holding on the bottom of the housing. Sansto branding. And of course Sansto branding on this side, as well as Sansto branding on that side. Now the front of this mod feels really soft. It has that rubberized feeling like the Minikin V2. I love the feeling, this rubberized feeling on the front of the mod. And then the back is just, it has a very rough texture, not sharp or anything, but rough. I guess you could say it feels like a meteor, but it has that divoted patterning on it. And then of course there is your spring-loaded 510, and the spring-loaded is very, very soft, but it travels really far. A really nice, deep, reactive spring-loaded 510. So I like that. So here on the top is your fire button. The fire button is nice and clicky and responsive. To turn the device on, you're going to 5 clicks to turn it on, 5 clicks to turn it off. So here is the screen, and yes, there is a screen protector on this. I don't want to peel it off because I'm going to be giving this one away. So I figured if I'm going to be giving it away, I'll let somebody else have the pleasure of peeling off the screen protector, because that is always the most enjoyable part. So on the front here, as I said, you have your firing button here. The front, you have this nice big bright screen. Now it is very simple. It's not a complicated or overly smushed together screen. You have your 2 battery indicators right here. On the left side, when you have it orientated the way that I do, your battery indicators are stacked on top of each other. And then over here next to the battery indicators on the top, you have your voltage output, which will be shown when you press the fire button. And then down there below the voltage, you have your atomizer resistance. Then you have your wattage, and then your P and your W. So you are able to lock the up and down buttons by holding both of them down. And that will lock your up and down buttons so that you don't accidentally adjust your wattage or your temperature. Now, to go into the menu, we need to put an atomizer on top. Okay, so we have an atomizer attached. We'll click the fire button. That's going to read the coil. So this is a 0.21 build. Right now it's only at 5.5 watts. I locked the wattage adjustment, so let's go ahead and hold them both down to unlock. So now it's unlocked, and this mod does adjust in 0.5 watt increments. Now I will say, with the orientation of the screen, the plus and the minus buttons are reversed to me. And the reason why I say that is because if I'm looking at the screen this way and I'm reading the text left to right, and I see that my P, my W, all of that is facing the direction, I would say I naturally would want to push the top. To me, it's oriented as the top button, holding it this way to move the wattage up. However, that's the minus button. So your minus button is on the left side of the mod if you're holding it this way, and your plus button is on the right side. So left is down, right is up. But if you're holding it this way, looking at it, you know, it seems like this should be the down button and that should be the up button, but it's not. So that's how you adjust your wattage. Now to go into the menu, you're going to want to hold the plus button and the fire button, and that will throw you into the menu. And as you can see, when it throws you in, you're going to start moving really quickly. So of course you're going to hit minus and plus buttons to toggle through the menu. W stands for wattage. If you click the fire button, that puts you back out in your regular power mode. Push that down, hold that. J, push the fire button. That's going to let you select your metal. So if we hit stainless steel 316 and hit the fire button, that would put us in temperature control. However, I don't have a temperature control coil in here. I have nichrome. So whenever you use a non-temperature sensitive metal, it will automatically kick you out of temperature control if it's a non-temperature control sensing coil. Okay, so this is an interesting little, I don't know if it's a bug or just how they designed it. It's actually quite annoying. So as I have the mod right now, I have, this is my right hand, this is my left hand. So this would be the left side of the mod and the right side of the mod if I orientate it with the atomizer pointing away from my body. So left side, right side. If I hold, which would be the down button now, is the left side. So remember, this is the left side, this is the right side if I orientate the atomizer away from my body. So the left button is the wattage down for me currently. If I press the wattage down button and the fire button, it flips the screen. So now my screen is orientated so that I have to turn the atomizer this direction. Now the atomizer is to my left, and the left side is the wattage up, and the right side is the wattage down. So now to raise my wattage, I'm going to be pressing the left button to raise my wattage. To lower my wattage, I'm going to be pressing the right button. So if I hold the right button down and the fire, it goes into stealth mode. I can still fire the device, but the screen doesn't light up. Now if I hold that right button down again and press the fire button, the screen comes back on, but it comes on reversed. So now I have to flip my mod this way. And the left button is down and the right button is wattage up. So I'm going to press the left button, which is wattage down, and the fire button. And my screen has flipped. So my left button is now my wattage up. Press the left button, wattage up, and the right button, wattage down. So let's push the right button and fire, and it goes into stealth. Push the right button and fire again, and the screen flips, and now my right button is wattage up. So right button, wattage up, left button, wattage down. Hold the left button, press the fire button, and my screen flips. And now my left button is wattage up. Does that seem weird to you guys? I think it seems very weird that the plus and the minus buttons change with the flip of the screen. So now it still is always the bottom button that is going to be your wattage up, and the top button, which is going to be your wattage down, whatever orientation your screen is. I feel like that's very backwards. I also feel like on one side, when you do it, it goes into stealth, but when you flip the screen, which it flips just by turning it back on out of stealth mode, the other direction doesn't go into stealth, the other direction just flips the screen again. So you have this series of down plus fire either flips the screen. If your screen is already flipped, down plus fire puts you in stealth. If you go out of stealth, it flips the screen back the other way. Does that make sense? I feel like now mind you, none of this is mentioned in the manual that they provide. The manual that they provide, from what I can tell, because this is the end of English, so you only have 2 pages of English. Well, 1, 2, 3. And then we're on to French. So you have 3 pages. The first one is just the specs. What this mod does. The same thing that I read you off of the box. The second page tells you how to power on. So it lets you know when you insert the batteries, the device will automatically power on. The Sansto logo will appear and the OLED screen will default display KA mode, which is not KA mode, it's P. To lock the device, press the plus and the minus button together. The device will turn locked mode. Now mind you, that's not lockdown. That's to lock your plus and minus because you can still fire the device. The only way to keep the device from firing is to 5 clicks turn it off. To vape, long press the fire button And then of course the mode selection is to press the plus button and the fire button. So you're going to push plus first and then fire, and that will take you into your modes, which is power, joule, and temp control modes. To adjust the power option in 0.5 watt increments, you're going to press the up down button. Then manual switching tells you if you press the plus button and then press the fire button, it'll jump into mode settings, or press the plus or minus button to switch between power, joule, temp control modes, and then the fire button to confirm your selection. And then where the submenu is, you can choose your stainless steel, nickel, titanium, or TCR modes. And that's the end. Then it goes into protections. You have overproof protection, low voltage protection, no atomizer protection, check atomizer, atomizer short protection. Screen goes off in 20 seconds with no operation. Device turns off in 10 minutes with no operation. Has overheat protection. And then it has low resistance protection. And then of course it has battery protection. And then you have your cautions, which are not intended for anyone under 18. Nowhere in here does it talk about the board stealth mode or that the screen can be flipped. So I don't know if this is a glitch or if they don't even know that their board does this. But as always with any device, when I first get it, I never read the manual, because part of my reviewing the devices, I want to see how easy is the device for a new user. Someone that hasn't used many devices, is it easy to figure out navigating? And I have to say, while this goes back retro, meaning devices that I used in 2015 were really common to have a set series of button clicks to navigate the menu. That I already know from vaping since 2015 that could be a possibility with this board, so I try it. Lately, devices have moved away from having to do a series of button presses and combinations of button presses. Most of them now have their own separate menu system where you click the button 3 times, it opens a sub menu, and then you toggle through that. You don't have to hold down a series of buttons to change your configurations. So this might be difficult for some newer users to adapt to this screen menu type configuration. As far as it performing, the mod performs great. It's instant firing. I have no problems with the mod firing quickly. Battery life is good on it. It's extremely durable as far as you're not going to get scratching. I actually took on my other mod and I did a nice little scratching just to see if this would scratch up, and it doesn't. This coating is wonderful. Same with this. It's a plastic, but it's extremely durable plastic. So you're going to be able to drop this device and the housing isn't going to break. It's not going to get scuffed up. The only thing is with this particular battery door, the way that it clips in, it's not very strong. It's not like Sansto's QIU mod, which had a press fit door. The press fit door, you couldn't pry off, hardly. This one is held on by magnets, so it does fit a little looser. It doesn't rattle. There's no rattle to this mod at all. But it does come off easier. So if you drop this mod, the door might come off and your batteries go flying. But as far as it breaking, I mean, you'd have to step on this door or run over this door to break it. So that is the Sansto 511 mod. Let's go back up top, have a vape. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions. Okay, that was an up and close of the Sansto 511. So what are my thoughts? Well, let's go over the pros first, and then we'll get to the cons. So the first pro that I have for this device may be considered subjective because some people like heavier weighted mods, and that is that this is extremely lightweight, which I actually like in mods. Since I carry them around either in my pocket or in my purse, I find that really heavy mods, obviously, especially for you guys out there who wear belts with your pants, sometimes you'll find you put the mod in your pants and you feel your pants physically weighting down. So I really like that this one is actually very lightweight. The most of the weight that you feel in this mod is actually when you insert your batteries. That's the bulk of your weight. This mod is only, I believe, 102 or 103 grams without the batteries in it. So extremely lightweight mod. The next thing that I like about it is, although it's lightweight, it is made of an ABS and polycarbonate mixture, so it's extremely durable. ABS and polycarbonate is known to be highly impact resistant, and what that means is that when you drop this mod, you have no worries of it gouging the plastic or the device shattering like stabilized or acrylic mods do. So really, to me, this adds to the durability and it being lightweight. So I really think that's a really big pro. Next pro I have for this device, of course, is going to be that it feels really nice in the hand. I love where they position this fire button. It makes it very comfortable to thumb fire, which is the way that I prefer to fire it, and tilting it back to vape on it. But you can also finger fire it, and finger firing is also very comfortable. I like the rubberized feel on the front of the device, and then of course the textured battery door. Now let's go into some cons for the device. So the first con I have is actually the board, the way that you have to access the menu system by hitting the fire button and the plus or up button. So with that is it's extremely responsive, which normally is a good thing, but in this case I find that if I don't hit the button just right, that little toggle just starts going crazy on me, and it can be difficult sometimes to select my temp or my joules or my wattage in that. So a little nitpicky, but I feel like the board layout could have been designed better. I feel like it's not very intuitive to a new user to figure out all of the different combinations of this board. My next con is going to be another slightly subjective con, and that's that with this raised 510 plate, your footprint is only going to be 25 millimeters without overhang. I feel like if they wouldn't have included that 510 plate and they would have recessed the 510, we could have gained another 2 to 3 millimeters and possibly fit up to 28 millimeter atomizer without any overhang. So I feel like by putting that 510 plate, we actually lost some usable space there, and that limits you to 25 millimeters without overhang. Any bigger than that, and because of the bevel on the edge of this 510 plate, you're going to see overhang from your atomizer. And the next con that I have for this device is another subjective con. I would have liked to have felt these buttons be just a little bit more protruding. They're not completely recessed, but they don't protrude a whole lot. And I find sometimes when I'm trying to find my buttons, I find myself searching or having to look for the button. This button up here, the fire button itself, I think is done beautifully. I love that they match the fire button with the back panel. I think that gives it a nice flow throughout the mod and its design. They could have maybe left out the branding on both sides. I think they kind of went a little heavy with the Sansto branding on both sides of the mod as well as on the bottom. They could have just left that to one side, and I would have liked that better. But yeah, so other than that, I'm really happy with this mod. As a beater mod, it's extremely durable. Now, it's not waterproof, dustproof, or anything like the Aegis. Don't think that that it's another Geek Vape Aegis. This mod is not waterproof or anything like that. It just happens to be that the ABS polycarbonate material is extremely flexible and durable, so when dropping it, you're not going to find the same type of damage that you would with a metal aluminum alloy type mod or a acrylic mod. So that's my thoughts on the 511 by Sansto. As for pricing, this is not for sale anywhere. I've heard a little rumor of where it might be priced at, and that's around the $50 to $55 range. I will say if they price it at that, I think it's overpriced for what it is. I feel like this mod would be a great beater mod, a great all-day carry mod for people that need something that's lightweight and ruggedized. At $40 range, like the $35, $40, maybe even $45, I feel like this would be a good buy. But if they're going $50 or above, I feel like that's just overpriced for this type of mod. So that's my thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button. If you are subscribed, don't forget to hit the little bell icon so you get notified the next time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, bye-bye.